here for another edition of Cast Iron IRL. Me, Honey Badger. What's going on? Hope everybody can give everybody a minute or two to jump on. I'm going to get connected to the comments section, and we'll see what happens. Boy, we got a lot to do tonight. It seems like a lot, but all this stuff, I got a feeling, is I don't know how smooth this is going to go, but we got a lot of stuff to do, and a lot of these are sort of throw-togethers that don't take long to do. Once they're made, they're kind of done, and so I'm hoping that it all goes in there. Ronald Coward, what's up, buddy? Can you hear me loud and clear? You can hear me loud and clear? Very cool, very cool. All right. And blue is the theme for tonight. Don't ask what's in the glass. You don't want to know. You do not want to know what's in the glass. Rocky Caver, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. But yeah, we'll give everybody a minute or two to jump in. If the music is too loud, let me know. My central air is running right now, so everything. Yeah, tonight. Yeah, Greg, what's up, buddy? Thanks for jumping in, moderating tonight. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's going to be a lot. There's a lot of stuff. It seems like a lot of stuff, but it really, I think, in the grand scheme of things, I think it's all going to come together fairly decent. One of the things that I realized about, I've never made cowboy beans before, and if, Granny Graham, how's it going? Well, I'm glad I'm on somebody's TV, Granny Graham, and I hope you received your stuff today or yesterday. I hope you received your order of cast iron cured. Tonight's sponsor of our live stream. It's always the sponsor of the live streams. Who am I kidding? But yeah, so we'll be using this stuff tonight. I hope you can see it okay. It's got a lot of cornmeal on it. Marsh Mills blue cornbread. I'm pretty stoked to try this out. And unlike a lot of the things that we make on here, gluten-free. Gluten-free. Rick, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, gluten-free. So we've got that going for us. So at least something will be healthy tonight. Anything else, I don't know. I doubt. But we're going to make some cowboy beans. And what I was alluding to before is that the cowboy beans is one of those things where it seems to be. Oh, not yet. It said it was delivered. I can see the future. I can see the future. It was delivered. It's going to be delivered. But cowboy beans is one of those things where it seems to be, the more recipes I looked up, because I've really been kind of wanting this, and normally I get it from a kind of a farmer's market near me. Was the first time I ever had it. And normally they call them cowboy beans as well. They'll call them stuff like that. But it seems to be that it's 3 cans of beans, your choice. Like, it could be anything. I've seen recipes for butter beans. I've seen them for lima beans. I've seen it for all kinds of it. But it's got to be 3 different kinds of beans. William, what's going on? Good to see you. And, but yeah, so, I mean, it seems to be 3 kinds of beans, a pound of hamburger, a half a pound of bacon, some barbecue sauce, or you can use ketchup and brown sugar. I've seen it even be a combination of both. Now I'm going to make my own homemade barbecue sauce tonight because I'm out of barbecue sauce. So I'm just going to make it because I like mine better than anything else I buy. I still can't find my recipe for often have a lot of sugar in cowboy beans. Yeah, and I'm trying to that was one of the things, Rocky Caver, that I'm going to try and kind of avoid overall. That's why, because everything that's in my barbecue sauce essentially is what you would add to the beans, and then put more brown sugar and more and more ketchup in there. So I'm gonna just go ahead and, instead of most recipes that I saw, it was kind of like a fourth of a cup of ketchup, and then 3/4 cup of brown sugar, or the opposite, and then barbecue sauce. So I'm just going to put barbecue sauce in there. I'm going to add maybe a little bit of other stuff. I'm going to throw some Worcestershire sauce in there, some liquid smoke, and I'm going to taste it. And then if it needs to be adjusted to what I want, then no, it is not Blue Hawaiian. I'm not revealing what's in my drink tonight because it's completely and utterly ridiculous. But blue's the theme of tonight, and it's not Kool-Aid either. But blue's the theme for tonight, so I figured I'd have something blue. You know, and most doctors will recommend that you have, you know, at least 5 or 6 things of artificially blue drinks every single day. So yeah, don't forget to like, and yeah, 100% Rick. And yeah, so this is the first official live stream of having 1,000 subscribers, which is very cool. And I can thank everybody that's in here tonight, because everybody's subscribed and everybody has been here for the past year, a little over a year that I've been doing this. So thank you so much. And you don't even know how much I appreciate it. But yeah, so we're gonna do homemade barbecue sauce tonight. We're gonna do Cowboy beans, and we're gonna use. I'm kind of jumping all over, but this Marsh Mills has several different cornbread recipes. Now, what I chose was the Singing the Blues cornbread recipe, which is pretty much more of a standard recipe for cornbread. Their main one was a little more like almond milk-ish, if I could say, and they were a lot of things like sour cream-ish that I don't normally put into cornbread or anything like that, and I'd never had it. So I kind of stuck with the Singing the Blues cornbread, which looks pretty standard, which is 1/4 cup of melted butter, 1/4 cup flour, 3/4 cups of this here stuff right here, that blue cornmeal. Sugar's optional. It says 0 to 2 tablespoons of sugar. With my Catholic upbringing, I'm going to go somewhere in the middle, and I'm going to go 1 tablespoon of sugar, maybe a little bit less. I don't know. Like Rocket was saying, it is going to be kind of. Let's see. You know, if this is going to be a lot of. Sugar in here tonight. So, and I've been living on a 1,200 calorie diet all week. So I think this is probably going to put me into some kind of sugar coma for this. In the Star Trek universe, Romulan ale was blue and packed quite a punch. Maybe that's what I'm having. Oh, old man with a pan, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. And so let me see, where was I at? So I stopped at the sugar and my Catholic upbringing. So yeah, so I might go 1 tablespoon of sugar into this, and then a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cup of buttermilk, and I say the equivalent because I've got dairy milk, whole milk, and I'm gonna do 3/4 of a tablespoon of vinegar to make the buttermilk, because I just don't use a lot of buttermilk, so there's no reason for me to buy it. And for those out there that looking for the shortcut with buttermilk, if you use a cup of milk, use a tablespoon of vinegar or lemon juice, and you'll get the same effect. Actually, lemon juice for me kind of works a little better, but I don't have any lemons, so that's what we're gonna do. 1 egg, and then you separate. We're gonna do the dry ingredients, then add the wet ingredients, and then we're gonna pour it into a 400-degree skillet. And speaking of a 400-degree skillet, tonight I'm going to be using, and it recommended that I use an 8x8 baking dish, which then they said put it in a heated cast iron skillet, which I was going to do anyway. So tonight's star for the cornbread, I'm going to be using the National Cornbread Festival 2022 25th anniversary cornbread skillet, which is a number 5. Normally when I do cornbread, I do it in a number 6. But if they said 8x8, which is an 8-inch skillet, I'm going to use this. Cynthia Wesley, what's up? And I'm going to be using my Cynthia Wesley pan tonight. funny you should show up. I've got my T-fall back there, and that's what I'm going to be doing my barbecue sauce in. So, thanks for letting me borrow it, and one of these days I'll get it back to you. But yeah, so we'll be doing that. I picked that up when I was at the Cornbread Festival in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee at Lodge back in 2022. But we'll be using that, and since I've showed you what I'm going to do, what I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be using tonight, I'll patch you guys over there. If you can't already see it back there hiding, we're going to be using the blue 5-quart Dutch oven for the Cowboy beans. So, as Keith Urban said, something about blue. Blue's my favorite color. Blue looks good on you. Keith Urban had a song about blue, and I can't remember what it's called, what it said. Walk by Faith, how are you? Good to see you. We said hi to William. We said hi to everybody. See what's going on in here with everybody. But yeah, everything's blue. So let's get in there. I've got my stove heated up at 255. I'm going to set my timer on for 4 or 5 minutes. Let that slowly heat up, and we're going to let that sit in there and marinate and heat up until we're absolutely ready for it. And we're going to get started with the barbecue sauce. And I need to get out my cups. I need to get all my cups. Faith is in the house. Yeah, got Faith in the house. That's always a good thing. But yeah, let me see. You got my teeth all back there. Yeah, I do. Did you see it? Did you see I got your T-fall pan back over here in the corner? And that's what I'm doing my sauce in. And my idea is, because I think at some point this weekend I'm going to barbecue some chicken too. So, I'm thinking, because I got a feeling that here pretty quick on the old live stream we are going to be doing a fried chicken sandwich. I've been wanting a fried chicken buffalo sandwich so bad. And if you've ever been to Wings and Rings, they have this thing, it's called the MVP, which is the best fried chicken sandwich I've ever had from a restaurant. It's absolutely fantastic. And I'm thinking a recreate of that's going to happen the same night that I make a buffalo chicken sandwich. Because I'm going to do all that. You love it? I'm so glad you can make it. Sandra Willoughby, how are you? Good to see you. So let's get you guys over here and all that, and I'll get you over here. We're going to start making this sauce. So let me unhook from the charger for the camera, and we'll get you guys over this direction. There we go. There, that should be pretty cool. All right. And this is my sauce one of my sauce recipes. I still cannot find, for the life of me, I still cannot find my all molasses sauce recipe, which has got me today, made me absolutely crazy that I cannot find that. So let's see. Worse than me. We'll get a little card. Yeah, 100%. So, and we've got some butter melting back here. That's what we're going to be using for the cornbread, and that's what I'll be using. I got a little extra so we can put some unsalted. We are using unsalted butter, by the way, tonight. So that's where we're at with that. Let's get started with this sauce. Turn that on. I'm going to throw just a little bit of olive oil into there and wipe that up so we don't get any stick to begin with. And I'm probably going to drizzle a little bit of, one of the things that I think that I always forget that when I first made this recipe is I'm going to drizzle a little just a little bit of honey into this as well. Since there is only like 4 to 5 pounds of sugar in this, and all this stuff we're eating tonight, I might as well drop a little honey in there too, just to thicken things up, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, let's get started with that. Let's get started with the barbecue sauce. Yeah, I don't know where Fuzz is. It's pretty cold out. He's probably underneath about 12 cats in the refrigerator box right about now. And, the last thing we really want to do is disturb him. I don't want to be responsible for that. So anyway, what did I do with that? So where are we at here? I'm just going to go right down in order of this, and we're going to do. Okay, the timer's off. Let's move this up to slowly heat our cast iron up so we don't warp it. That timer on for another 5 minutes. I'll move that in there. Another 5 minutes we'll do that. And we'll just let it sit down there. If I could count. Okay. So we want 3/4 of a cup of this ketchup, which hopefully this runs me out of this ketchup bottle. Hopefully it runs me out. I think it will. And let me get, where is my spatula? Sorry, I gotta working in a tight space, guys, so I got a little flannel cam going here. So we're gonna do that, and I'm also gonna put in, I'm gonna put a little vinegar into this bottle and get the last little bit of this out that I can get. Because I'm just about a little shy of that. And I don't know if I have more ketchup, and I'm pretty close to having that 3/4. So I'm not gonna go digging around for another thing of ketchup. Because I'm sure there's one out there on the shelf somewhere in the dry goods section of the den. So let's just add a little bit of vinegar to that. There we go. I can throw that away. Then check on my little politician 1 minute. Let's see. So here we go. So we got 3/4 of a cup of our ketchup. Start with that. And see, that's the thing I like about my other recipe, is that it's a no ketchup version, which I tend to like a little bit. I definitely like a little bit better. And then we got to go 1/2 cup of vinegar into this. Use just a little shy of that. 1/2 cup of vinegar. There we go. And then we're going to do 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Which I never did get my cups out. Which I'll get out right about now. 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Pack that into there. Let's see, what is this? Rebecca Helt, how are you? Right now we're making homemade barbecue sauce. The way barbecue sauce should be made. But the other one I like to do if I'm in a pinch, I like to take Kraft before they started using corn syrup and dressing that up. I always liked that one. I didn't mind that too much. So 1/2 cup brown sugar into there. I get rid of the brown sugar for now. And then we're going to do 1/3 cup of molasses. I do love me some molasses. Absolutely love it. And I've got one over here we're using Grandma's. And 1/3 cup of molasses, which we're going to turn that upside down. And I'm just going to open the other one because I know I didn't have enough molasses. So I'm just going to open this other one up, and then I'll put this one, what's left of that one, into the other one. So we got 1/3 cup of third cup of molasses. There we go. Molasses is awesome. I think it just looks cool. I don't know why I've always thought that. I just think it looks really cool. There we go. Scotty from H-Town, what's up, bud? Good to see you. Good to see you. There we go. Okay, then the timer's off. We'll just leave that at 350. Give that a little mix around. Get that started. We got a lot of stuff. There's actually a lot of stuff in my barbecue sauce. This is going to be the hardest thing we make all night. It's the barbecue sauce, and I want that to simmer down before I put it into the cowboy beans, because that's going to kind of thicken up my cowboy beans a little bit. So we're at molasses, and then we got 2 tablespoons of mustard. Good old Southern cooking. Yeah, it is. It is kind of some. It is going to be some Southern cooking. It's Southern from all over the place, really. 2 tablespoons of mustard, and then and there were so many different mustards. I mean, people were putting sweet hot mustard. They were using Dijon mustard. They were using stadium mustard. They were using everything. This is just, I mean, as far as like into the cowboy beans, they were just putting everything into those things. I am going to put, remind me at one point, I am going to put some mustard into our cowboy beans, which I did. As I think about it now, I neglected to write that onto the recipe. Let me rinse this off because I'm going to be using this tablespoon quite a bit. So I think I don't really have in the menagerie of stuff that I have in my kitchen, which I have a gajillion things. That around. We'll whisk that up when we're done. Let's see, and then what else? Then we got, yeah, I knew I'd need these tablespoons again. Let's see how much of this. Let's see. Tuckerverse, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. And it says, I usually do 2 to 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce in there. If you don't have that, a little bit, I cut it in half and go with soy sauce or teriyaki. They both work, to be really transparent. So we got that in there. Rocky Caver, Mrs. R says hello. Devil's Advocate, what's up? Have you got any spam? No, I do not have any spam. I do not have any spam. And yes, Tucker is in the house. There we go. And we're starting to see how dark that's starting to get. That's what I like. It's not a bright red sauce. And then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of, let's see, onion powder. 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Let me get my 1/2 teaspoon up. That is my 4th teaspoon. This should be my 1/2 teaspoon. Yep, there's my 1/2 teaspoon. 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. There we go. And then we're going to go with 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder into there, which I didn't get out, but it's right here. All I got to do is grab it, I think. Yeah, I'm just about out. Onion powders, man, I should have put that on the list today. Should have put that on the list. And then 1/2 teaspoon of that. So boom, 1/2 teaspoon of that into there. If I need more of that, I'll get it back out. And what else do I got here? Let's see, then 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Val's Black Cats Rules, what's going on? Good to see you. So 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Boom. Into there. Can't have enough of that. Wonderful Rebecca. Welcome aboard. Yeah, welcome aboard. Give that a little be stirred into there before so I don't get clump these up. Boy, that's already smelling really good. And it'll be fun. It'll smell really good here once I hit it with a whisk. 4 teaspoons of salt. Like I said, this is the biggest thing we got, so the most stuff is going into here. So this is really a bad time for my heat to come on. It always seems to come on during the show, and I don't know why. During the live streams. Listen, you use big. Why do people think that you must use barbecue sauce in beans? Because it's cowboy beans. It's in all the recipes. And see, that's that's kind of what I do when it comes to recipes that I've never done before. I'll find like 5 or 6 recipes, and I'll kind of find the common denominator in them, and then I'll put that, and then that's what I'll use for them if I've never done it. And then I can kind of switch it around and see what, throw it against the wall and see what sticks. Because I've never made cowboy beans before, but I really wanted cowboy beans. I've been craving them. Let's see, a teaspoon of salt. I don't have cayenne pepper, or do I? No, I don't have cayenne pepper because I have cayenne. This is not the last of it. I'm so using these up because I'm really wanting to get out another jar of cayenne dehydrated peppers that I have in there. Rip these up. There we go. Because they're just due. Those have been sitting out for next to the counter for about 6 months. Throw that into there, and those will fall apart eventually. If not, the oil will. Cayenne pepper, ½ teaspoon of liquid smoke. Must be Fuzznet. He always. Yeah, the weather here is pretty good. Joanna Bright, how are you? Good to see you. And ½ teaspoon of liquid smoke into there. We're also going to throw. Remind me to do the mustard and the liquid smoke into the cowboy beans. Liked and shared. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. They must use most of the beans down here in Houston come rodeo time representing trail rides. Yeah, which is another thing. When I was kind of looking up like where this came from, it's sort of Mexico, southern Texas, and it's another thing. The Texas folks put beans in, except for chili. They freak out about, they get all twisted up about beans and chili, but I guess that's sort of a whole different thing. It's more of like, what's that, red? Texas red? That's what they call it. But like I always say, everything in Texas has beans in it except for chili. Let's see. Check out what's going on. Comment section. This is a little stir. Yeah, I'm going to be needing to whisk this up. And then a ½ teaspoon of paprika. And then we can just sort of let this marinate. There we go. A little taste of paprika. And then another half of turmeric. These are 1/4. Oh, now it's going to come out. This is where it spills all over the place. Okay, and a ½ teaspoon of that. Now I can put that back on the shelf. And we'll whisk that up. that should be everything. I am gonna I'm gonna drizzle a little bit of honey in there, and some crushed red pepper. If I can, where's my crushed red pepper? And just enough to kind of cover the top. And these are the same cayenne pepper, basically it's the same cayenne peppers that I just used to put in there. So there we go, a little bit of that. And some stone. Okay, so now we're pretty much, I think that's the end of, yeah, that's the end of all the ingredients finally for the barbecue sauce. And we'll get a whisk, one of the smaller whisks. Scrape some of that stuff off, because I was clumping all over everything. Ooh, got me. And we'll whisk that around, and then we're going to just let that simmer. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit, turn it up a little higher than simmer, and there we go. Check out the comment section. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, if it didn't, I don't, like I said, I don't really dig on the ketchup-y ones. This is one that I kind of messed with that has ketchup in it. But I really like the dark molasses one that I did have. And I made another one from another place that I thought was pretty similar, and it was completely wrong. Like 100% wrong. So we've got that all in there. Can you guys see that okay? Man, that is smelling really good. And the molasses flavor is, I mean, I can just smell the molasses in there. It's kind of overriding everything else. There we go. Just leave that sitting right there. Okay, this blue cornbread is made here in South Carolina, and it flies off the shelves. Yeah, it is. What's the city, Greg, where it's made? Without me having, I think I might say on the back here where they make it. I'll let you handle that. Molasses, onion, brown sugar. Oh, and I want to drizzle a little bit of honey in there too. Not much, just some. Just drizzle a little bit of this honey in there. There we go. Not much. Maybe like a half a teaspoon or so. Let that kind of marinate in there for a little while. And at some point, I'll figure out what I did with the lid to the pan. I really don't know what I did with the lid. This is so crowded in here right now. Makes me a little crazy. But there. And that should make, I think it makes a pint of sauce. I think that's what this ends up making, because I end up just storing it in a mason jar. But I think it's about a pint of sauce altogether, minus the 3/4 cup that we're going to put into the Cowboy beans. So let's go ahead and, what are we going to do next? Because this is what I was kind of worried about, like how I was actually going to, the order that I was going to do everything. So I think we might just go ahead, let's go ahead and make the beans and get a drink of our obnoxiously blue mystery drink. Ah, that is good. That is so good. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and we'll mix up that cornbread, and then we can set it off to the side, and then we'll pour that into the container. So let me kind of move my stand around just a little bit more here. Sorry. Is what it is. All right. Move that off of there. Move my mustard off of here. Make myself a little bit of room. And that's where we're at. I think I might have to raise this up just a smidge. Raise this stand up. Just a touch. If I can raise it up. I think that might be is that as tall as we get? That might be, oh no. The bottom has some play down there. Yeah, that's about as tall as we get. Here we go. Seems shorter. Really does. I don't know why. I don't know why that seems shorter, but it does. Anyway, so we'll just move this out of the way. All right, so we'll move that. And then the other thing I wanted to show that I picked up not too long ago, and these are all chipped up, so these aren't the value, they aren't going to get the value that they normally do. But I came across some McCoy bowls. And if you ever get a chance, if you see these like at garage sale, Goodwill, or somebody, you know, happens to like try to maybe heirloom these to you, these things are super valuable. This is one of the more common patterns of it, but these are, they're really cool. And I was really surprised when I got them, what exactly they were. Let me move this stand up. I think I'm going to move this stand up just a little bit more. I think I see what's going on. Technical difficulties, as they say. There we go. There we are. I probably need to fire my camera guy. The Edso, that's what the Ediso rib, is that what that means on the side of the container there? So first we'll do the powder ingredients, the dry ingredients as they call them. So we'll leave that right there. And we'll go with this. So we're gonna go, that's not quite melted. So we're gonna throw that on the back burner. Move my tea kettle out of the way. I still haven't found the lid to the saucepan. I don't know what the hell I did with that. I probably left it out in the outside there. And then move this back down. Sorry guys. I don't know what the heck is going. There we go. There we are. That's better. Yeah, then it was like Wilt Chamberlain there for a second. Wilt the stilt. Okay, so we're gonna go with our we're gonna go with 1/4 cup of flour into this bad boy and get our dry ingredients started in there. We have a 6-bill Roseville. Yeah, they used to make Roseville not far from where I am. I had a piece of Roseville art, a wall vase for a while, one of the cherry blossom ones that I had for a long time. And I was kind of condensing things down here at the house, and I just actually sold it about 1.5 years ago. But I had one piece of Roseville art that was made in Tiffin, Ohio. And I mean, if you can find some Roseville art too, I mean, boy, talk about worth a couple bucks. That is definitely worth a few dollars right there. Let me see here. And where's my 1/4 of a cup? I don't know. We're working in such a tight space tonight. So, okay, there's the 1/4 of a cup. So then we're gonna do a 1/4 of a cup of this blue cornmeal, which I haven't even seen this stuff yet. I mean, you can kind of see it through the package because I'm about to sling it all over the house. There we go. Oh, that's pretty. Can you guys see that? That's pretty cool. That's gonna be neat when it comes out. I'm really excited to see how that looks. But I'm also excited to see if I can't find that. If I can't find the lid to that saucepan, I've absolutely. Oh, it's right here. It's right here. Never mind. It's right in front of me. It's hiding in the burner, by the burner. Okay. Losing my mind. Try their grits. Out of this world. Oh, really? I haven't had a whole heck of a lot of grits in my life. Let's see. So we're gonna need 3/4 a cup of this. So one, oh, that's pretty, man. That's really good. That's nice looking. Pack that in there real good. 4th cup of that. I'm gonna let that kind of hang out in the background while we throw the beans together, and then once we get the beans together, we'll throw that in, and then it'll all kind of be about the same time. There's the beagle. Doing what beagles do. Oh, is that Velcro in there? It is. That's Velcroed in. That is so cool. That's kind of cool. You guys see that? It doesn't have a zip tie or zip, whatever you want to call that thing. It's Velcroed. That's pretty neat. I've never seen that. I've never seen that before. I'll throw that back in the fridge. Watch out, beagle. Throw that back in the fridge. And I did, in the description of the post tonight, I did put the link to their Facebook, or not Facebook, but their YouTube page. I did put that I put that in the description of the, so if you want to go and order yourself some of that, I figured I'd do that since I ripped off their picture for the thumbnail. Might as well, right? I love the cousin Vinny grits. Let's see, never used instant grits. I don't know much about grits. I've had them a few times, and I think I mentioned this before. Every time I've ever had grits, it's been at like 2:30 in the morning at a Waffle House. Let's see. Right now we'll skip the sugar, and then in here, in this little bowl of fun, I've got 1 teaspoon of baking powder, a 4th teaspoon of baking soda, and a 4th teaspoon of salt. And then the other thing that I'm going to do right quick, while I get the other stuff mixed together, is we're going to make the buttermilk. So I'm going to need 3/4 a cup of milk. So move that out of the way. There we go, right there. So we'll get our 3/4 cup of milk. So 3/4 cup of the milk. And then like I said, the conversion is for every cup of milk that you use that you want to turn into buttermilk, you use 1/4 cup of, or 1/4 tablespoon of vinegar or lemon juice. So this, since I'm using 3/4 of a cup, we'll be doing 3/4 a tablespoon of 3/4 tablespoon of the vinegar. Let's see, so set that into there. And I'm just gonna eyeball that. There we go. Let that marinate in there for a minute. Let that hang out. Give that a mix. Mix that around. Just so I'm gonna let that sit about 5 minutes. Back there in the back. Chill out. And we'll go back to what we were doing. So, and then we've got an egg that we got to put in here. And there's going to be another wet ingredient. I am going to throw just a smidge of sugar in here while we're waiting on that. Just a touch. Not enough to make the Southerners mad, but just enough to kind of take that sort of chicken and waffles. Yeah, I do. Yeah, chicken and waffles is another one I'm about ready to spark into here real quick. Especially out now that we've got the out there in the garage. I'll be doing that in the garage. So just a touch of sugar. Oh, got you guys all kind of out of the way here. So got some baking sugar in there. And get that going. I always like to let my cornbread mix just a little bit. I think I put the flour. Yeah, I already put the flour, the regular flour in there. I kind of got out of got out of order. Buttermilk, 1 egg. We'll get our egg in there. Room temperature egg. The whole egg. This is kind of small egg, to be honest. I almost thought about doubling up the egg because the eggs have went down in price, but if anybody knows that they're all pretty small, at least around where I am, they're pretty small. But I think tomorrow when I go to get my milk, they usually have eggs out there. Hopefully they'll have some left. And then I've got that 4th cup of melted butter that we're going to throw off here to the side. We're going to throw into there. There we go. Sort of mix in. That's pretty cool. And get that all in there as much as we can. I should have put that egg in there afterwards. Don't curdle your eggs. That's always bad. Your mom will get mad at you. Let's see. Oh, I still have the spatula. Still got the milk to go through yet. But I want to give that another 2 minutes. We'll just kind of mash that all together. That is awfully pretty though. I mean, I like that color. I don't really know what color blue that would be, but like azure blue, turquoise. It's not turquoise. Oh, I missed that last comment. Let's see if I can catch up to it here. Fuzz is the master disaster. Did Fuzz ever stop in? Or is he still MIA? Let's see, let me get my spatula, knock some of that out of there. So we can get that that butter or that milk into there, really get that mixed up. Then we'll set that off to the side and we'll start our beans and all that. The beans, this is all going to start, now that we're kind of, we've got the sauce out of the way, this is going to start flying. This is really going to start, and we're going to start making headway here pretty quick. Get that out of there. So it can all mix in. There we go. There we go. Like that. See how that's looking. Yeah, that's starting to curdle up a little bit. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure I always feel like I missed something. I almost felt like I missed the flour, but I'm pretty positive that I put the flour in there, and the butter, and the egg, and all the powdered goods. And I really like the fact that it's got a half stick of butter into it. So that's kind of nice. My camera's kind of wonky. I don't know why my camera's being wonky tonight. This guy, I mean, the new generational parents, you know, the microwave era. Yeah, my mom's sort of, I was sort of in the middle of that. Like my mom home cooked, and then we had like bagel bites. Use bacon grease in your cornbread? Yeah, I've heard a lot of people do that. Yeah, it can't hurt anything. Keep kind of knocking that around. And our cornbread pan should be okay. It's been 5 minutes, and we're gonna let this kind of hang out too. It smells like buttermilk. If it smells like buttermilk and looks like buttermilk, it must be buttermilk. And it's there we go. There we are. That stuff off the sides. There we go. Boy, the heat just kicked back on. I can't believe the heat's kicking back on again in here. It's like a sauna in here already, especially standing in front of this. Especially standing in front of this stove that's been preheating for probably about a half hour too long. That cornbread, this should sizzle. It should definitely sizzle. There we go. There we are. Check out the comment section. See what's going on in here. Yeah, we're not the hot pocket in the microwave era. Both my parents worked. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Isn't that a cool color? White Mountain Girl, Queen of New England. What's going on? Good to see you. I know it's going to be a little bit lumpy, but scrape that off there. Yeah, this is going to be, I can't wait. And this is going to be in at 400 degrees for about, it says 15 to 19 minutes, so it gives me kind of a big window, you know what I mean? There we go. It's starting to thin down a little bit. Or thicken up a little bit. So I'm making sure I put in there everything. Might add just a smidge more. I think I am just going to tap just a little bit more flour into that. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm just going to put a little bit of flour into there. If it doesn't come out, that should be plenty. There we go. Yeah, I know. White Mountain Girl hasn't been able to be in one of the streams here in a while. So that's pretty cool. She's here today. There we go. Yeah, I just need a little bit. But then I've said that before with cornbread before. I'm like, man, that looks really thin. And then it turns out and it's real nice. I don't want to get all the lumps out of it. It's got to be a little lumpy. Plus we're going to let that sit for long enough to do the cowboy beans. Get the cowboy beans going before they simmer. We're going to pour that in, get that sizzle going. And we should be, I'm going to run the spatula across the bottom and make sure I don't have anything stuck. I always hate that when you get to the bottom of it and then you see that big clump of flour that didn't mix. There we go. And then like that piece right there, just gotta see that. And get that down to the side. That down in there. And there we go. Okay. We'll set that off to the side. Let's see. Always rest the cornbread before baking. Yeah, we're going to give that 5. We're just going to give it the amount of time that it takes to do this. Now, here's my bean choice, because I said earlier, you can do like I saw so many different beans that they did. So I'm going to do black beans. I mean, everybody had any kind of bean you can think of, except for green beans. That was like the only thing I didn't see. It was like lima beans, but and then it was like navy beans and just any Great Northern beans. But we're gonna do black beans. We're gonna do dark red beans, and then I went with the cannellini beans, and I can only find them in this brand. Usually I get bushes, but I couldn't find a cannellini bean in any other one. And the reason that I went with the cannellini bean is because it kind of holds up. It holds up really well. And like I said, this is kind of going to be what I'm kind of snacking on the next few day or two after tonight. And these hold up really well. So if you're in a spot where you're, like if you get to the point where, you get with like with the other ones, they seem to mash up and then it almost becomes like a soup. But these beans will hold up. So I do like using these. Let me get my cutting board back out. We're going to cut up that bacon. We're going to start with the bacon. And then we're going to we're going to start with our bacon. And I'm using side bacon tonight because I thought I had regular bacon in the freezer and I did not. I had side bacon, which side bacon is just the different part of the cut, more of a belly piece, and it's not cured, it's not seasoned. So when I do this, I am going to throw in, you can see it's kind of more like a slice of pork as opposed to like thin bacon. And they also call it naked bacon because there's no cure, there's no salt, there's no anything on it. So I'll add a little salt and I'll add a little pepper to it and a little bit of smoke, liquid smoke, and I'm gonna get my Dutch oven heated up to about 4 on the old electric stove scale, and we'll start cutting that up. That cut up, and we even have the blue. Thought of everything today. But it also has a lot nice with the side bacon. You get that nice, all the fat sort of in the back. So that's, and we do want a little extra fat with this. So we're not into anything. We're not into anything that's gonna make it, you know, it's gonna change much. I love salt pork for baked beans. Yeah, I do too. At Old Iced Tea. Oh, Lily Farms is in here. Very cool. Blue Lagoon Iced Tea. Nope, not Blue Lagoon Iced Tea either. But it does pack a punch. I will say that. So we're gonna cut this down in some little pieces. And this is still frozen, actually. I left that still freezing up some, so it would slice pretty easily. So I don't want Val to get all nervous. Cut it down in like, I don't know, what would you say that was? About a 1/2 inch piece. There we go. Got those over there. Like I said, I left that, this was in my freezer, and I didn't take it out till about 6 o'clock so that it would stay sort of frozen and chop down pretty nice. But I think the last parts are it's starting to I'm getting a little of both. I'm getting the frozen stuff and I'm getting the raw stuff too, or the thawed stuff. Not raw stuff, it is raw, but you know what I mean. There we go. It's slippery on these. These cutters, these cutting board guards are really hard to cut stuff on sometimes, especially something really fatty like chicken thighs. It's the worst. Okay, so we got that cut up, and there's about a 1/2 pound there. That's what we got. And then we're gonna get our onion over here, just a sweet onion. That seems to be fairly standard in a lot of the recipes, and ironically is what I just had laying around. Hey Brooke, what's up? How are you? Let me get Val's eye in her eyes. Val gets so nervous when I cut things. Let's see. And we'll dice that up too. Get our onion diced up. Really, we should make her nervous that I had a cup of coffee and a Celsius before I came on. I'm kind of going with the electric blue drink to kind of outweigh the all the caffeine that I had before I came on. These onions that I got the last time always have this, the paper on them is, the little skin thing on them is like the hardest to get off. There we go. Love to make homemade sauce. Caffeine doesn't scare me. Doesn't scare me either. I think I live on it. Probably one of the reasons I don't sleep ever. Take this other one off of there. And then we'll dice these up. And we got a green pepper we're going to dice up. And that's going to be the extent of it. This is where I take my glasses off. Let's see. Mainline cups. Yeah, right to the head, right to the dome. I want to get my I got a couple percolator. I've got some percolators, cups of coffee pots in there, and I really want to make some Cowboy coffee. I always say that I'm gonna make it. I never do. There we go. Slice these up. There we go. There we go. Are you looking, Val? Don't look. My hands are really shaky. There we go. This is the scary one. There we go. There we go. Okay, one onion, semi-diced. And I got pork grease all over my fingers too. That didn't help. Okay, so we got that. Then we're gonna start throwing that back into there. Bring you guys over this way, because we're gonna break open the blue Dutch oven that's been sitting back there heating up and should be relatively warm at this point. There we go. And we'll throw our pork in there first. We'll throw that pork in there. And let that do its thing. We'll give that about a minute. Kind of chill. There's another one. There we go. And then we'll come over and I'm going to cut up we're going to go ahead and I'm going to throw in a few dashes of liquid smoke. There we go. A little goes a long way. And some pepper. You guys see that all right? Yeah. And some pepper. Oh man, that's smelling good. Put that pork in there, threw that liquid smoke in there. Boy, that is going. Oh yeah, you gotta have the blue Dutch oven. I mean, if you're gonna do blue cornbread, why wouldn't you have a blue Dutch oven? Gotta have all the toys, kids. Gotta have all the toys. That pepper smells good. For store-bought. I was really disappointed at the with getting I tell you what, after you grow your own peppers, getting store-bought green peppers is like it's like a fate worse than death. It really is bad. And cut these out. I'll let Val just look at the pork browning up instead of me cutting this green pepper up. I'll give you a break. Give me just a little break. Cut this bell pepper into, dice this up into some little pieces. This guard, I got to tell you, this cutting board guard is greasy. Knock that around a little bit. Touch. Got oil rendering in there. There we go. Get that all in there. Now the burger, it was funny today. I had another one of the butcher guys out at the counter. There was you know, doing my order for today at the checkout counter. And I said, hey, what's the percentage? Like, what is this? Like 80-20, 70-30? And he just looks at me and goes, it's fairly lean. It's just kind of lean. And I'm like, all right, that works. And it is really lean. It's probably like a, I mean, really to get technical about it, it's probably like a 90-10, 85-15, something around there. Probably what it is more than anything. That nice and browned up. Because we're going to take that out here in a second. Once it's browned up, we're going to take it off to the side, and then we're going to throw the peppers and onions and then the burger in there. So that's how we're going to do it. I'm also going to throw in a couple of these. Well, I'll wait on that. I'm getting ahead of myself. I was going to say I'm going to throw in a couple of those dehydrated cayenne peppers in there too. But we'll wait a minute on that. And just kind of keep the love going with where we're at with that right now. As I cut these peppers up right quick. I'm almost done with that. And then we're gonna get that. We're gonna really cook that bacon down. Really cook it down. I mean, it's gonna be browned up before I pull it off. And we're gonna set that off to the side. Give that another stir. That's starting to go. That's starting to. Now the bacon, side bacon is going to be. It's going to take just a little bit longer than the thinner stuff. And I'm going to throw a little bit of salt in there as well. Because there's no salt on it. There's no nothing on this. It's just pork. It's just pork bacon without crispy bacon, please. Yeah. It will be crispy when I'm done. There we go. I keep cutting my green peppers. And that's one green pepper, one medium onion. And that's what we're gonna do. That's all we need. And really we're getting about to the point where we're gonna throw that cornbread in here in a minute. As soon as I get this pepper done. And I will tell you, I did dull this. I don't know how I dulled this knife up today. But I did kind of dull my knife a little bit. And like, it seems like there's one spot where this knife is a little dull. Probably because I was honing around with it. I was actually honing it, and I might have went a bad angle on it. Okay, so the green peppers are done right here. Green peppers are finished. That's all done. Check the comment section. With the enamel, you can save it in the fridge. Yeah, that's 100%. That's exactly my my idea. Let's come over here. Let's check this sauce out. See how it's doing. Oh yeah, that's starting to thicken up nice. Well, it smells really good. That molasses is really coming out. Really like it. Can you guys see how it's pretty thick? We're going to use about 3/4 of a cup of that. We're going to start with a 1/2 cup, and I'm going to taste it. And then if we need another 1/4 cup, I'm going to do that instead of putting the brown sugar and the other stuff in there. Because I just think that's a lot of sugar. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but it doesn't feel right to do all that. You guys over here just a little bit. Check it out. Starting to brown. Getting into brown town here. There we go. that smells really good too. And considering I had a bowl of, man, you know what I had this morning? What I had for breakfast, which was it's not ironic or wild or anything, but for whatever reason, that Quaker Oats maple brown sugar oatmeal sounded good. And I bet I haven't had that since my kids were little. And I broke out some oatmeal, put some brown sugar and a little bit of maple syrup on that, and it was like freaking it was like 2005 in my kitchen this morning. That was really good. Really good. Yeah, let that sit for a second. Let that just brown up. I'm gonna crank that up just a little bit and get that kind of brown, because side bacon does take a little bit longer than regular bacon to brown, and that's taken like a lot longer than I want it to, like a lot longer than I want it to. And let me see, make sure, what else do I got? Go ahead and open my beans, I think, while we're messing around with that. Yeah, I get the beans opened up. Back over this way, so you're not just staring at frying pork. So we open the cannelloni beans, and we're going to leave the liquid in them. Leave the liquid in those, and we're going to leave it into the black beans. Let me get my can opener out. I don't think I'm going to mess with the electric can opener, unless this can opener, man, I've had this thing for dozens and dozens of years, and this last few times I've used it, it's kind of been letting me down. Kind of been skipping. Like that. I want to get one of those ones. Have you seen the ones that, the old-timey ones, where you put it on and it has like almost like the oil nozzle, and then you kind of just crank it around? I think those things are sweet. That's what I need. I do have an electric can opener, but it's all buried back behind the coffee maker and everything else. So we got that one. And this one. Let me stir that pork around a little bit. Get you guys back over that way. You can see, starting to brown up. There we go. Right down Main Street, Browntown. That's what we're talking about. That's what I'm after. That is what I'm after. Won't even need to heat up that high anymore after that. And we're going to want all those little bits and all that other stuff in there to keep that honest. There we go. Yeah, that's starting to brown up now. Just need a little bump of heat. And that iron, which I thought would be too much, but it is not. There we go. Very cool. Badger, I'll send you, let me see if I can see it up here. Let's see. Badger, I'll send you 39 cents to buy a new can opener like that one. Yeah, I know, man. It's one of those things, man. I'm just one of those that I don't throw stuff away. I just ride it out till the wheels fall off. And that's one of the things. And I have an electric can opener right over there, like a brand new one, really. I barely use it. The funny thing about that can opener, the electric one, is I got it when I moved in here, which is about 4 or 5 years ago. And the day that I got it, Ming went to go open a can with it. And she's like, I can't get this thing to work right. And I was like, well, that's probably because you snap the one thing on the back of it that keeps it lined up. It holds all the cans up. It holds the can up. And she snapped that little piece off. And it was plastic. And I tried to glue it. And that didn't make any difference. It just kept coming off, so it was broke before it was even broke in. Let's see. That stuff to the other side, but I want this stuff really good and brown. After that part's done, then we're done. with all this. We'll start throwing everything in, and we'll get everything thrown into this. Bring that back over there. Get stuff off to the sides as I try and look around the camera stand to do all this. Flip that over. There we go. Go like that up where it was. All right, there we go. Very cool. Doing it with Charlie. What's going on, buddy? Hope you're well. Hope you're well. No cutting board today? Yeah, it's over here. I just used it, and I think I'm almost about done with it. I think here once I throw in the take this off that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the bacon off here in a minute. Just that one side. It seems like the one side is staying, and the other side isn't. There we go. That's taking ridiculous. That's taking a ridiculous amount of time. We're gonna crank that up. That's just taking forever. That's getting on my nerves. Well, not getting on my nerves, but you know what I mean. It's like, come on, let's go. We got to go. And we weren't going to drain the grease out either. We're not going to drain any of that grease out. But we are going to have a little bit of our electric blue drink. Oh, you are? Yeah, man. I'm looking at. I found there's a cutting board company right about 5 miles from my house, and I left them an email this morning. There we go. This is what we're after. That's what we're after, right there. We can start pulling that out of there. Then we're going to dump these onions in here with a little bit of mince. I don't have any fresh garlic, which is another thing that I forgot while I was out today. You'd think if I went to the store more than, I only go to the store like once every 2 months, that I would remember the stuff that I needed, and I would write it down that I need, but I didn't. So let me move this out of the way, and we'll just throw these in here. Get a bigger, I'm gonna get a different, get more of a friendlier way to get these out of here. And I'm gonna move you guys off to over this way just a bit so I can get in there and get to these things. Get them. Get those out of there. Put that down. We'll need that as high as it is now. But those came out pretty decent. There we go. Yeah, that came out nice. I like using that side. I really thought that this was bacon in the freezer till I pulled it out and flipped it over and I saw the label that said side bacon, side pork, or fresh side. They call it fresh side too. That's another name for it. It's fresh side. And then we're going to throw in this. We're going to throw in all of our, get you guys back over this way. And we'll throw this into there. Get that going. And I'm going to do the burger in there with it. Put that in there. That back up. And we're going to split that. We're going to split this. I'm going to split that over. I'll put you guys back over top of there. Let's split that in half. And then open my burger up. I'm gonna break that up. You can see that when I say that it's lean, that's super lean. Like super, super lean. There you go. There we go. I'm gonna put a little salt, pepper. Oh, and my minced garlic. I need to throw the minced garlic in right about now. It's about a tablespoon of minced garlic into there. Nice tablespoon of minced garlic back into there. And that's gonna come on. Bob the Builder, walk my face. Sorry I haven't been in here. I've been busy with school and work. Catching up on that real quick. Not as lean and clean as me pops. I don't even know what that means. I have no idea what that means. So with that back there. Just going up here in the front. Where's my thing? Of course, I can't find what I'm looking for when I need it. I didn't think about it until I needed it. There we go. There it is. My burger masher. There we go. Much easier. There we go. And we're going to salt and pepper that. Do I need to salt and pepper it? I forget. Not really. This says not to, it says I don't need to, but I think I'm going to anyway here in a minute. And I think I'm going to add more garlic into that too. The only thing I know I'm not going to add is onion powder. Because that is a lot of onion in there. There we go. Get that going. Two for one. We got a 2-for-1 going in there. That's going to get those down. Get that going. Let that settle. Let that heat back up. I think I'm going to keep it at that medium heat for now. And I better set it. Radagast, what's up, buddy? Mercy B. Jason Bradburn, I think that was that one. There we go. Yeah. Break that down just a little bit more. There we go. I like that. I like that right there. Yeah, that is really lean. We'll give that a minute to do its thing. Let it brown up just a little bit altogether. And move some of this stuff out of the way. That way we can get to the cornbread here in just a minute. Because I think once that burger's browned up, I think that's when we're going to throw the cornbread in. Then I'll throw the rest of the other stuff in there and we'll be going. There we go. Start moving that stuff all in together. There we go. And the beagle. I don't know if you can hear that, the click clack of little talons coming out here to investigate. We'll give her a little piece of burger here in a minute. And I'm really excited. The other thing, man, I've got for Sunday, it's kind of a TikTok-y kind of recipe for Sunday, but it looks really good. I saw it and I was like, man, I really want to do that. And it kind of incorporated some of my favorite things, like sausage, biscuits. And I'm like, how can I go, there's like no way to go wrong with it. And it's sort of a fun little way to put all that stuff together. And I thought that looked really cool. So I am going to throw some pepper in there. We're going to pepper that up. And I know everybody was supposed to remind me to put mustard in this, but I can't remember what the other thing was. It's blue cornmeal from South Carolina. Yes, yes it is. Let me see. Double tap the screen, 2 thumbs up. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I would appreciate that. Cowboy beans looking spectacular. Yeah, they're starting to. Watch out, Beagle. Whatever you think is right there is not there. So we got that. Yeah, that's starting to come together. And I like to keep things as one pan with this as I possibly could, which is why I split that in half. The onions are definitely turning translucent. I don't want like a grilled onion kind of thing. I want them to be sort of where they are. I'm also going to throw one thing I am going to toss into it while I'm thinking about it. Lamb mold. Put mustard in that. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Throw a little handful of chives in there. Let's see, put mustard in it. Yeah, that's cowgirl beans unless we get some spice added. Oh, there'll be some spice. We got some spice coming. And actually, this is about where I need to put in, speaking of the spice, this is where I am going to throw in some of the dehydrated cayenne pepper into there. And I've got a Tabasco pepper. That's what this one is the Tabasco. We'll leave the seeds in there. Got some cayenne pieces that we're going to throw in just for, there's another Tabasco pepper into there. And I want to get one of these bigger. I can't wait to get like I said, I cannot wait to get one of the newer, because I've got like 4 big jars of these Tabasco cayenne jars of peppers in there, dehydrated. And these are all from not this season, but last season, last gardening season. And I've got like 3 or 4 more jars. I know when Artie came back in February or March, when he was here to visit for an episode, I gave him one of these to take home with him. Because I had so many, the year before last was just really kind of a phenomenal season for my peppers, all different ones. And then we're gonna throw those peppers in there. We're gonna throw a little bit, 1 or 2 shots of our homemade Tabasco sauce into there. It can come out. Just a little bit of that. A little bit of our homemade Tabasco in there. Yeah, there's a, yeah, you just gotta give me, you gotta give me a chance. I kind of do it as we go. Yeah, I like that burger where it's gotten to be. We'll let those peppers sweat in to this. I put a little salt and a little pepper into there. It's got our garlic into there. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit, down to about 3.5. And then, what all do we got here? Then we've got, go ahead and throw our beans in now. So we can go ahead and get that, get the black beans in. Like I said, use any kind of bean you want. Because there's definitely no rules with cowboy beans, and there's no rules in cooking. So, and then our red kidney beans with the juice. There we go. And then our cannellini beans, or white kidney bean, basically is all. That's what it is. I think it even says that on the front of the can. Yeah, white kidney bean. And like I said, I'm doing these this way because the kidney beans hold up a little better, and I'm going to be reheating. It kind of looks like 5-cup salad. If you've ever had 5-cup salad, that's what this reminds me of. And then we're going to add back in. We'll put that on 4. I'm going to let that kind of hang out. Now we're going to throw our bacon back in there. Our bacon crisps into there. There we go. Where's my? I had something that I could use to get stuff out, and now I don't know what I did with it. It's like working in an elevator, guys. It's ridiculous in these little spaces as I go and make more dishes. So we'll get the rest of the bacon out of there. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna put a little, before I go any further, let's see, yeah, and I got 2 tablespoons of mustard to go in here. Oh man, I don't mess with chili packet seasonings. I don't do the packets. That's like, that never happens here. Taco meat, none of that stuff, man. I never do any of that stuff. It's all fairly, if I can home make everything, I home make everything. So 2 tablespoons of mustard. That looks like about a tablespoon. And you can use any kind of mustard. I mean, these recipes for these Cowboy beans, they used everything. I mean, they used, like I said, Grey Poupon. They used Dusseldorf mustard. It was all kinds of stuff. Dijon, horseradish mustard. There was just a gajillion different things that they used for these recipes for this. Get that mixed into there. Mix that in. Now that our barbecue sauce is kind of coming around, we're going to mix our barbecue sauce into there, and then we're going to turn this. I'm going to put a lid on it while we do. Let's see. Got our green pepper. I'm going to throw about 2 tablespoons of vinegar in there. So we're going to drop a couple tablespoons of vinegar. That's about 2 tablespoons. There we go. And you can see why I left the liquid in there now. Imagine that was the idea behind all that. There we go. So we have some sort of a sauce. And boy, that's spicy. I just tasted a little bit of it. And then we're gonna go, let's see, what are our options? So we already put that in. And now we're gonna go back over to the sauce, and we're gonna check the sauce out and see how it's doing. There we go. And give that a stir, and then we're gonna go half a cup of this sauce into there. Yeah, that's looking good. There we go. Nice and dark. Sauce is really nice and dark. That nice stirred around. That's really nice looking. Really nice looking sauce. Okay. Oh, and it's not the same unless I kick the stand at least once, as I did. But my dad was right. Sometimes I just need to pick my feet up as I'm walking. So the sauce goes into there, and then we're going to do a half a cup of the sauce into here, and we're going to pour that into the beans. There we go. And then I think we're fairly done with the beans. A little beer added, be nice. Looks like chocolate. I know, doesn't it? It does look like a little bit like chocolate. So we're going to go half a cup of that into here, and hopefully my glass doesn't pop. Man, oh man. Oh wow, that sauce tastes good. That sauce is really good. If you ever get a chance to make this sauce, make the sauce. And we'll give that'll give us about 20 minutes to do that. And we'll put you guys over onto this as I clear this spot up. I'm gonna crank that up to about 5. I'm gonna put that medium high. We might actually do another quarter cup of the sauce into there. If you can see that. I might add a little bit of cornstarch to that. I think I am gonna do another quarter cup of this of the sauce. I'm gonna do another half cup altogether. So we're gonna add a whole cup into there. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that cup. Because we didn't put the ketchup and we didn't put the brown sugar in there either, like a lot of these call for. Because all this stuff was already in a lot of it. We'll check the color out of this. Let's see how that does. There we go. And it's going to cook down. It smells really good. Guys, I wish you could smell it. It really does smell. Get a good glance. Oh man, I got you guys totally off camera there. Sorry. Sometimes I just get locked in. There we go. It's got a really nice color to it. And I'll put that last little, see what I can scrape out of there. Not much left. But yeah. And I'm gonna taste it too before I absolutely rule out any more ketchup or any more brown sugar. I'm gonna taste it here in a minute. I'm gonna let it kind of all marinate for just like literally long enough to throw these cans away, move some of this stuff out of the way, and all that, so we can pour the cornbread. Put this in the recycling bin. There we go. Move some of these bowls and plates out of the way. As we check that stuff out, you guys got a good view of that. Okay, cool. And then, I think that's a pretty decent color. I will take that. And we did put in the chives. We put in, I can't remember. I think we put liquid smoke into there, right? Yeah, that color's good. That's a good color for that. You can see that just a little bit better. The color on that that's about where we want. Seems to be what all the recipes look like. There we go. And we'll move this out of the way. We're done with all this stuff. We are done with everything. We're done with just about everything but the dishes and the cornbread. If anybody wants to volunteer to help with these dishes, hit me up in the email and I will give you my address. You can show up and help. There we go. So that's out of the way. And we're going to get a trivet down. Got a trivet. And we're going to pour this cornbread. We're going to get that steamy cornbread pan onto that decent sized trivet. And we're going to pour that in. I'm sure that's rested enough. We're going to leave the lid off that. We're going to leave the lid off that so that cooks down just a little quicker. And I need to find the lid for the sauce. I'm done with that as well. Done with the sauce. The sauce is ready to be put into a jar. That's pure bliss in the skillet. Yeah, man. Let's see, James. It's nothing but flavor. Oh, the weather's kicking you out? A lot of gusty winds. Yeah, man, I know a week ago, that was all it was here. It was like 25, 30 mile an hour winds for, a minute. Like days on end. And it didn't, usually here, at nighttime, the wind kicks down. And it was not having that. It was not having that at all. It just kept going. What's with the food at Bees? Oh yeah, we're doing cowboy beans, and we're doing cowboy beans. I made some barbecue sauce. I'm about to pour the blue cornbread, and that's where we're at. So let's bring you guys over here to where the trivet is. Hopefully that trivet's big enough to that. I'm gonna turn the stove up to 400 degrees. Drag this bad boy out. There you go, National Cornbread Skillet for the folks in the beginning that didn't get to see it. I'm not going to go any farther. But that's the 2022 National Cornbread Festival at Lodge Skillet. Get our butter out. That's been sitting over there. Oh yeah, man, that butter alone just smells good. Get those little nooks and crannies right there and right here. Take my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing. I know that sounds weird to say, but thanks, yeah. And all the kids got one. Even the kids got one of these. I'm sure they never used them, but they have them. Just pour all that butter in there. Get a big old glob of butter. Can't have too much butter with cornbread anyway. Put that off to the side. Yeah, this stuff is starting to really thicken up. Yeah, and this is thickened. The cornbread mixture, if you guys can see it, that's really thickened up as well from where it was. And leave that out of the way. Hope that doesn't stain my countertop. And let me get one of my spatulas wiped off because I don't know where the other one is. Or, you know what I mean? I don't know where the other ones don't work. The other spatula that I have that's clean, or the other ones, the little silicone ones, they don't work as good as this little red one does. Or my Lodge one. Got that sizzle. There we go. Well, that's gonna be, I got a feeling that's gonna be really pretty when it's done. I think that's gonna be really pretty. Get as much of that into there as we can. But I can tell that's cooled that pan down a little bit too. There we go. All done. And we'll throw that in there. Nice glob of butter on that. And we'll turn that on for 20 minutes. 21 minutes to be exact. And we'll move that out of the way. Move this thing out of my way. Beeks is over there. The Beeks is all staring at me. She's like, man, when am I getting something? She goes, can't you just give me, hook a dog up with a little something here? Yeah, that's thickening up nice. I'm actually gonna move that to the front burner. When it's hot enough I can get away with that. Turn it off the back. We'll put it up here so you guys can see that a little better. Now that it's out of my way. Or I've got everything out of the way. We can move this up here, put it on there. Because it's essentially, that's done. So you guys can see that a lot better than this. Stir that around. Yeah, this is looking, man, I'm gonna taste it here in a second. But yeah, it's got a nice color. I like that. And it smells really good. Definitely smell that. I'm gonna drop a little bit more molasses in there. I got this little bit of molasses in this one jar. We're gonna throw that in there and get rid of it. There we go. Because in my book, you can't have too much molasses. So that way I don't have to sit and mess with that anymore. And we'll move that into here. And that'll darken it up a little bit more too. There we go. I am digging on that. Digging it. There we go. Check comment section out and get a little bit of my blue magic drink. See what's going on in the comment section. Let's see. They have tortillas, corn chip blue. Also, all them here in California. Has a wonderful flavor. Hey Nancy, what's going on? Good to see you. I think I saw that in the new Wicked movie. Maybe. Who knows in that movie? I haven't, I think there's another one that's out, isn't there? There's like a, isn't there Wicked 2? I thought I saw that up at the movie theater here in town. You get a little taste of this. And yeah, this Sunday, man, I'm really excited about this Sunday as well. I'm really excited to try this little thing. It's not going to be as homemade as my normal stuff, but I think it will be delicious either way. You guys see that? Boy, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in there. A lot of stuff going on in there. And that bacon, I mean, bacon smells really, I can still smell the bacon in there. Got the mustard in there. Yeah, we got everything in there that we need. Pretty stoked about all that. Check on the comments a little bit. I like the bow. What makes it? I like the bow. What makes it? Oh, I must have missed something. Yeah, Nancy Shipley, good to see you. Beauty of this chili is it only gets better with time. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, and it's a Tex-Mex kind of thing, and there were so many I know I've said this a dozen times, but there's so many versions of this, and you can do really what you want with it. That's kind of the cool thing. You can do, you know, I thought, man, about adding some cilantro to it, and really kind of, I don't know if I ever put chili powder in it. I think I might put a little chili powder in there. Yeah, I never did do the chili powder, did I? Let's put some of that in here real quick. Sprinkle a little bit on the top. If it actually will come out. There we go. There we go. A little bit of chili powder. Maybe like a half a teaspoon. There we go. That'll do a little something for it. Because that's what it kind of smells like it needs. It smells like it needed a little chili powder in there. Then we'll give it a taste here in a second. Here we go. What time is it getting to be? Oh yeah, man, we've been going on this thing. We're definitely going. Let's see. Cilantro would be interesting. Yeah, I think so too. There's a lot of stuff you could do to it. I mean, like I said, none of the recipes I saw did chives, but I thought chives would be pretty cool. And the chives seem to be, I can actually smell the chive in there. Yeah, so that looks like where we want to. Looks like where we want to be. And we've got about 15 minutes on the cornbread. I knew that we would run into this, where there would be a little lag into this whole thing, but it's just kind of the way it worked out. And usually I'm pretty good about getting these things straightened around, but I just really couldn't. I don't know. Maybe I should have done that in the middle, and we could have been about to this point here. But it's what it is. It is what it is. And I got to keep stirring. I got to stir the chili. I'm doing my move. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm doing the stir the chili move right now. And we did hit 50 likes. I always like when we hit 50 likes. That's always encouraging. For everybody to hit that like button. That's wicked the good. Let's see, what else we got? Absolutely, cumin. Yeah, cumin would probably be pretty good. I want to try it the way it is, kind of like this, and then I would see how I dress it up. By the time I'm probably down to about half of that, I'm gonna have about probably five or six more different spices into it and everything else. I do want to get a little spoon. I'm gonna get a little tester bowl off to the side here and let it cool down, because that's like blasting hot, and see what we come up with for this. I actually want to have the guitar one in there too, so it can kind of scrape the bottom and make sure I don't have anything stuck. But yeah, it looks, I mean, if you guys can see that part of it, that looks pretty all right. Get it down the light a little better. But it looks pretty good. It just reminds me of that 5-cup salad, if you've ever had that. Like at the holidays, where it's got like green beans and wax beans and vinegar and sugar. That's what it reminds me of. Like 100%. Looks very good. Yeah, thank you very much. Let's see. Is that the moves that brings the ladies over? Yeah, it is. Or it sends them away. One or the other. Which seems to be right. I don't know if I've ever figured out the moves that bring the ladies over. But you never know. Maybe one of these days I'll figure it out. Put my cord up here. Put my charger on. I didn't think we'd be going. I really didn't think we'd be this far into it as we are. But since it is the celebration episode, I guess, of 1,000 subscribers, I guess we could go a little bit longer. It's a wonder we're not doing shots. That sounds like a lot of fun. But not the weekend yet. Wow, that's really good. And it is spicy, but I gotta tell you, it's just right. That's like the right amount of spice. That's absolutely perfect. And I really think that little bit of chili powder there at the end, I think that was kind of that was the banger. Yeah, this is banging. Yeah, maybe I should have put that cornbread in about 15 minutes earlier. But, man, that's good. And I'm glad that I didn't go with the extra ketchup and the extra brown sugar. Because as you saw when we did the barbecue sauce, that was all there. I mean, that was like 100% in the, it was all in the sauce. So there was no reason, it was just like doubling up your brown sugar and everything else. Yeah, I don't think there's no reason to do that. And I do have to say though, like, for real, that sauce is really good. If you get a chance to make that sauce at home, and I'm actually going to set this off to the side, if I can fit this over here. I'll take it off the heat, because I'm going to jar that up before it's all said and done. I think once we take the lid off of it. Well, I don't want to take the lid off, because I don't want that moisture to get out of there. But we'll jar that up. I think I'm going to have a little bit more of that while we're hanging out waiting. But yeah, that pork is really good in there. That fresh side pork, I think I like that better. I like the thicker. If you don't have fresh side pork available to you and you want to make this, definitely get like a thicker cut bacon. Because I'm 100% that would be way better than anything, than doing it like a really thin bacon. Or be like my neighbor that puts, instead of bacon, he puts bacon bits and everything. Yeah, directly next to me. In case my neighbor directly is next to me, watching. My neighbor, let's just say, maybe across the way, that puts bacon bits and everything. They're like the real ones, the like, not the crunchy ones, but the real ones in the jar with the like yellow top. But if you guys can see that, I don't know if you can. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and I'm telling you, I'm not just saying this because I made it. The spice in here is just about right. That's exactly what I wanted. It's not salty. It's not overly peppery. I'm actually glad. What would really go good with it is some electric blue drink. Oh yeah. That's hitting right. Let's see the comments here. Let's see, made chili mac for supper last weekend. So good. That sounds really good. Let's see. If your neighbors are watching, expect a knock on the door soon. They don't. My neighbors are actually subscribed to the channel, and I don't think they ever watch. Kind of like my mom. I don't even think my mom's subscribed, though. I know my kids are subscribed, but they never watch. Actually, my kids should be working if their schedules are what I think they are. They should be at work. Well, this stove is hot. The stove is so hot next to it. But yeah, man, that's super good. Super good. I can't wait to have some of this cornbread with it. But I'm about ready to take and while I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna heat up one of these jars, one of these quart mason jars that I just happen to have sitting right here, right next to me. And we're gonna heat up one of these, get that sort of put that on the stove and let that heat up, because I'm gonna pour that into one of those jars. Get that out of there while we're sort of waiting. Get that going. There we go. Get that going. There we go. So that's going. And the beaks is being pretty good. Let's do a little beagle time. We'll get the beagle some treats here. She's got some liver treats anyway. I'm not going to give her any of this chili because it's pretty spicy, but I am going to let her have some of her liver treats, and I'm going to give her some of that cornbread, because the beagle is all about cornbread. She is all about cornbread. She loves cornbread. There you go. Don't worry, I didn't forget about you, kid. Where you at? Hey, get in your spot. Go get in your spot. Go get in your spot. You're out of the shot. You're out of the shot. Okay, can I get a spin? There you go. All right. There we go. A little Beaks cam here real quick. Is she even in the shot? She's like all over the place. Oh, now she's in her spot. Now she's in the spot. There we go. Can you speak? A little speak. Speak. Not spin, speak. There you go. All right. Yeah, doing some Beaks cam. Go ahead and sit. Can you shake? There's nothing in my hand except a paw. There we go. Yeah, she definitely wants to be a circus dog. That's her, need some potato. The cowboy beans? Potato? I didn't think about potato. That might not be bad. All right, ready? Can you spin? All right, there you go. Yeah, you're doing it. Beagsapalooza, yeah, 100%. She loves these things, man. I also get these at the butcher shop. It's just, if you can see it, it's just liver. That's all it is. It's sliced liver. It's like kind of jerky-ish. And when I asked I know I said this before, but for people that have never seen, that are new, when I asked the butcher, I said, what's in your dog treats? And he's like, liver. Liver, and it's kind of smoked. There you go. All right. Wash my hands after the liver treats. Biggs, you should probably wash your hands after the liver treats too. You should definitely wash them paws after those liver treats. Yeah, you can't really get a better dog treat than those liver treats, that's for sure. All right, that's it for now. That's it for now. You and your fuzzy sweater that she will not let me take off. I tried to take that once I got home today. I tried to take, because it's really warm in the house, and I tried to take the sweater off of her, and she loves being dressed. This is the strangest thing. This little dog loves being dressed, and she absolutely would not let me take that sweater off. The only way I think I can get it off of her is like show her another one of her sweaters and pull that sweater out and let her and act like I'm gonna put the other sweater on and let her chill out. Let her chill with that one. Yeah, I'm talking about you. My comment section on my camera is locked up. I don't know what. It's still back when we were talking about fuzz. Vic, welcome. What's going on, Vic? Good to see you. Let's give this a stir. There we go. There we go. There we go. That back over this way. We got about 3 minutes on the cornbread. I'm actually gonna give it a look, see. Ooh, baby. We might be in business. Let me get a toothpick out, and we're gonna check that cornbread out. It's cold, beans don't want to be cold. Dude, it's hot in here. It's hot as hell in this kitchen. I mean, it's some kind of warm. I'm gonna toothpick this cornbread and see how that's doing right quick. But I don't think it's done. No, it's gonna need the full couple more minutes for sure. Because you can see the toothpick, it's kind of soupy still. Can you see that? It's still kind of soupy yet. So we'll come over here and we will, in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead. I got this, put that over here a little bit, let that warm up on the thing. I want my jar to be warmed up so I can pour that sauce into the jar. Yeah, this is really going good. I'm stoked about this. I cannot wait to have some cornbread with some butter on top of it. And a big glass of milk. Yeah, this came out perfect. I'm glad I wrote this down because that's, well, like I said, I never had Cowboy beans till I moved down this way, and that farm market makes them, and this is like this is better than theirs actually. And it really doesn't have like a chili taste either. That's the really cool part about it. It just doesn't taste like that. It does not have that chili taste. And that's pretty nice. It just tastes so totally different than what you would expect, what you would expect. Like, everybody's chili is a little bit different. It's kind of like potato soup. Everybody's potato soup is a little bit different. But yeah, that doesn't have like a chili flavor, but it's got a nice bite. And I'm really glad, once again, that I didn't put the extra brown sugar or the ketchup or anything. I'm happy that I didn't put anything else in it. Everything seems to be like, when you pull up a spoonful of it, it seems to be everything's in there. Everything's there that you want it to be. So we'd let that sit in there. It's got about 30 seconds. We're gonna toothpick that again. It's still got to set like 10 minutes. Once it comes out, it said to let it sit 10 minutes. So I'm gonna let it sit 10 minutes and then we'll jar up that sauce and all that. And then we're gonna eat. Then we'll give it a test run. We'll give it a test. There we go. You're done, Beagle. You're done for right now. Begging is not a good look, Missy. Begging's not a good look, no matter what they tell you. Let's see. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. 100%. Okay, so timer off. I'm gonna check this again one more time with yeah. What is it, D-Dog? Yeah, dude, just stick with your chicken nuggets, bro. That's what you need to stay with that. Yeah, one more minute. I don't know, because it said to let it sit, and it's going to sit in that hot skillet. I think we're going to pull it out. I think we're going to go ahead and pull that out of there, and we'll let that kind of hang out. Let's see. Yeah, pot needs four bowls served and ready. Yours is definitely ready. I got a bowl with your name on it, Val. I'd beg for them beans, not proud. Yeah. Yeah, these are, man, I'm telling you, and I'm not saying it just because I made this. It is really, really, these are really good. I'm not even just like messing around. Okay, so let's, like I said, I'm going to give that just a sec. I'm really kind of cautious with it because I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's kind of moist looking. It's like wet looking. But I don't know. I got to let it sit, so I'm going to let it sit. We're just going to, I don't know. What's the worst can happen? I'm going to have crumbly cornbread. But let's put you guys over here where the trivet is and get a gander at that. I think that looks really good. And it's starting to crack. So I think we're going to give it the 10 minutes to sit and rest. But yeah, blue cornbread, man, I'm stoked about that. And it seems to be, yeah, it's pulling away. That's as good as it's going to be. We'll throw the timer on for 10 minutes and let that marinate on there in that skillet. I'm going to turn my oven off. But man, that is so cool looking. Like super cool looking. Let's see, the beans will thicken. The beans will thicken the chili. Yeah. Let me see, Rick will sneak in and grab some. It's a wonder somebody, because I know that some of the people that watch, there maybe not be in the comment section, but I know some of the people that watch, they're not very far. They could be over here before I'm done scraping out the sauce out of the saucepan. But yeah, man, I think that stuff looks really cool. I think that's a neat looking, because I've never seen blue cornbread before. You guys are just as about it as I am. It's just as new to me as it. Well, I don't know how many people. Has anybody hit one if you've ever had blue cornbread before? Because I've never had. I've had blue corn chips. I've had blue corn tortillas, but I've never had. And I'll tell you what's going to be one of the things I want to try and make with this is how we made the Johnny cakes out of muffin mix. I think the next big adventure is to do blue pancakes. I think that's going to be on the. That's going to be on the list, Biggs. You're going to have to move, kid. You're going to have to move. Okay, so let's move this camera over this way and get it that way, and then we're going to scoot that back just a little bit, and we're going to pour out this while we're waiting on that to kind of do its thing, because we're rounding third and heading for home right now. And I thank everybody for their patience. I know we went long, but it is the 1,000 subscriber stream. I should have put that in the title tonight, but I didn't. I didn't think it was go this long, but it did. Live TV, live stuff, live cable. It's like cable access. You never know what's going to happen. There we go. Speaking of cable access, I was watching like a video the other day on YouTube, and it was this guy. What was his name? Clay Wilson? Was that the guy's name? This guy used to have a public access channel back in the 90s and in the early 2000s when people still really did the cable access thing. And he lived in this town where he was getting harassed by the police. And his show was all about the corruption in his town. And so he would get on this cable access show. It was Clay something. And you can look it up. And this is all, like, I even looked up all this stuff myself. And so this guy used to do this, like I said, the cable access show about all the police corruption in his town. And finally, the police started coming to his house and they would rough him up and all that kind of stuff. And they would like make all these bogus charges against him. And it was always kind of this one cop that would come and mess with this guy. And it turns out, so finally that cop that was roughing him up got charged with some of that stuff, and they fired him from that police department. Anyway, so he moved to another police department, and he ended up getting in more trouble. That cop did. He ended up getting more trouble. And then finally, he got charged as like he was doing errands for the mob. And it was in I'm pretty positive it was New York City. Yeah, it had to be. It was New York City. And so the guy finally got charged. And as he was awaiting trial, he got sent to Rikers Island. And I'm pretty sure, anyway, he was Jeffrey Epstein's cellmate. He was the last person to see Jeffrey Epstein alive. That guy that cop that was the crooked cop. And I looked all this up, and it was, and I'll be damned if it wasn't 100% true. That this cop, this dirty cop, was Epstein's roommate and the cellmate that Jeffrey Epstein had. That's nuts. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, there's our sauce. And we took what? We took a cup out of there. So yeah, that would have filled up this quart jar or pint jar. Put that in the fridge so it heats up my fridge and makes everything rotten. We got about 3 minutes on this. I'm gonna get, I don't know if I'm just gonna, let's see. Let's check this out. Because I'm getting to the point where I'm really wanting some cornbread. So let's bring that back here and put it at the center of attention. But that's looking good. Like, I think that even 20 minutes is where we should have been. Especially as thin as that batter was. Yeah, but it's pulled away nicely. And there was definitely enough butter in there, so it shouldn't stick. And if at the end of the day, yeah, but I'll let that, I might just cut a piece out of it so we can check it out. Call it done. Show the cornbread bag again. Show the cornbread bag again. You guys want to see, somebody wants to see that? Okay. And you do have to keep it refrigerated. It says so on the bag. And since I generally, I don't generally do what I'm told, but I did keep this in there. So it's Sea Island Blue cornmeal from Marsh Mills down in South Carolina. Let's see where it says where it is. I don't know. I don't see it on. I don't see exactly where it is, but Greg, you know exactly where it's from. So, and the bag's leaking. So, the bag's got a little hole at the bottom. So I got to put it back in the bag because it's starting to leak everywhere. But yeah, that's what it is. That's what we got. That's what we're working with. So yeah, let's plate some of this up. It's got about 2 minutes, and we're just going to cut a piece of this. I'm not going to try and flip it out of there. I'm just going to cut it because I'm starving, and we've been at this for about 2 hours. So let's I'm going to cut a little piece out of here. Because I am wanting to check this out. And I don't want to wait. Because I got a feeling that that's not going to come. It's going to need a little bit more time because it's awfully steamy. I mean, this is awfully steamy still after 10 minutes. And if I'm messing it up, I'm messing it up. But like I said, we're 2 hours in. And so many people have still stuck around. So let's move this out of the way. Oh, let me go around the outside edge. I really need a plastic thing. I need a plastic spatula. And Ming, I know you're not watching. Well, you might be. You might be now. But I'm definitely going to take my last plastic spatula that you broke out of the will. So you're going to be one plastic spatula minus everybody else. So let's throw that off to the side. I'm going to bring my plate over. I'm going to back it up just a smidge. Bring the big plate over, and we're going to get into this. There we go. Get a spatula out, yeah, this out of there. Turn that off. Ladle that up. There we go. Man, that looks good. You guys see that all right? Put that right there. Gonna put that thing back on there. Get some of this cornbread out. Yeah, that just needed some more time to cool. If you can see that, can you guys check this out? The steam is just still just rolling out of this thing. It's going to take another 20 minutes to completely cool down. So, but I will hold this up. I will get this put up on the side because I'll just deal with that. Because that was the timer for the 10 minutes before it should have been flipped out of there. But it didn't stick, but I was afraid it'd fall apart. But if you guys can see that, that is so cool looking. That is 100%. I'm really into that. Yeah, let's get some butter on that. Let's get a pat of butter on there and have some blue cornbread with some electric blue punch and a big old thing of them, a big old thing of those beans. There we go. Sticky. Get that on there. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. That is really cool looking. Let me get my camera moved up a little bit more. This is probably going to be the part the AI makes as my. There we go. Yeah, I'll take that for sure. Wipe that on there. Smear that all into there. And let me grab a fork and a spoon. Well, I already got a spoon, but let me grab a fork so we can sort of semi-do this the right way. And try and give this a try. Because yeah, that's going to be another 20 minutes to cool down at least. So let's get turn our beans off, grab my spoon, give everything a try. But I really want to try this cornbread. I'm afraid if I pick it up it's going to fall apart because it's not ready yet. Wow, that's really good. That is really, really, really good. And even though I just put like a half a probably not a whole teaspoon of sugar into that. That corn itself is kind of sweet. If that even describes that at all. It's kind of a sweet cornbread, even with just that little. There was virtually no sugar in there. So if you didn't want to do a sugar in your cornbread, it's still going to come up a little bit sweeter. And I will bring that back up here so you guys can see the cornbread itself. Where it browned up, it browned up really nice on the top. It's got that nice, I don't know, man, this stuff is cool. And it's really good. And for cornbread is usually, it always seems dry to me. That's like a whole different animal. It's like a game changer for cornbread. Wow. Wow, that is really good. And it's really good with my electric blue drink. Let's see, let me get it on here. Let's see, it looks like a fudge brownie. Yeah, no kidding. It's amazing. Kathy Cochran, what's going on? Good to see you. People go nuts for that here in South Carolina. I'm going nuts for it here in Ohio. Drizzled beans, creme fraiche, and a few cilantro leaves on top, and Parmesan cheese curl. Ooh, yeah, now you're talking. In this house, cornbread is gone long before it cools. Man, I'll tell you what. Same here, Rocket. And it came out really nice. Did you guys see how, it just needed to cool longer. But, there was no stick. It didn't stick at all. It just needed to cool or it would have crumbled. Like it would, when I flipped it, it would have crumbled. And I know you can't maybe see it from there, but it's really a moist cake. It's like a cakey texture. But not like that weird cake flavor. I don't like cake. Let's see. Snowed here 5 inches. Yeah, it snowed. It's going to snow here tonight, where I'm at. Where are you at in the world, Kathy Cochran? You don't have to give your street address and all that, but what part of the world are you in from? Let's see. Oh, Louisville, Kentucky. Okay, so you're like 3.5 hours from where I am. Let's see, Kathy, a dish like this would be perfect for a cold snow. That's exactly what I was thinking when I decided to make all this stuff. That this was going to be perfect for today tomorrow, probably into Saturday. I mean, there's a lot of this. I mean, you guys can see over here. I mean, check. You guys have been looking at it. That's a 5.2 Dutch oven, quart Dutch oven. I'm gonna be eating this like all weekend long, and I'm telling you, I'm not gonna get tired of it. I tell you that. I'm gonna have. Sorry to talk with my mouth full, but I want to have a little bit of that with that. Ooh, I just got one of those Tabasco peppers. Well, it was like the whole thing. I just ate a whole Tabasco pepper. That's spicy. But good, and a good, man, I love Tabasco peppers. I think they're my favorite. Give this a day in court. Oh my gosh. Man, that's killer. You want to get some of that cornbread? Marsh Mills down in South Carolina. Look it up. It's not crazy expensive, and they do really good shipping deals. And they have all kinds of different stuff. They have, actually, Greg was thoughtful enough to send me 2 bags of cornmeal mix, cornbread mix as well, and this, and then a bag of this, which I guess is super hard to get, but it is really good. And it is really good with Cowboy beans. I mean, it's super good with Cowboy beans. But there we go. Yeah. And if you guys want to, I'm telling you, if you want to try one of the recipes that I've done, like the top 10 recipes that I've done, as far as that goes, this is the one that really panned out. This has panned out really well. And it's one you could follow like step by step, and you're going to be really happy with it. It's got a little sweet twinge to it and some heat, but it's not overbearing. Unless you put in a whole Tabasco pepper and you get that. That might be a little spicy for some people, but yeah, man, this has come out perfect. I wouldn't change a thing with it, and I'm glad I wrote it down. But anyway, this dog is sitting there staring at me for some cornbread. So let's give her some cornbread, and then we'll wrap it up. And once again, thanks so much for the 1,000 subscribers and all the views, man. It's an insane amount of views that this crazy little channel's had. And thanks so much to Rick and Greg for being here, as often as they possibly can. And we are looking for moderators right now, a couple extra moderators, because the channel has gotten a little bit bigger than we thought it was going to get. And so if anybody is interested in being a moderator, just hit me up in the email that's in the bio, and we'll hash that out. We're going to get Beagle's going to get a spin and get a little bit of cornbread. And thanks so much to Greg for moderating, Rick for moderating, Scotty from H-Town, thank you so much for being here, and Val's Black Cats Rules, Ronald Coward, Mercy B, and everybody else that's hung out for this madness tonight. And I know it took a little bit longer than usual, but and Ronald Coward, thank you so much for showing in. Rocket Caver, thanks so much. Bob the Builder, Radagast, so many other folks that were in here tonight. There's so many, and all the new people. I hope you happen to just hit the subscribe button on your way out, and all that stuff, and come back. We'll see you again. We're going to be doing this on Sunday at 11 a.m. There might be a pop-up to work on that the Lodge grill over the weekend. William Hurt, thank you so much. Yep, and good night to you as well. Stay safe. The weather's going to be crazy out there for everybody, even if you're in the nice places. So with the nice weather, you're going to get something. So anyway, I'm going to jump off of here, and I will see you Sunday in the comment section. All right. See you.